And Amy Jacobs is going to be at Freedom Summit, so you don't want to miss that.
Oh, and I heard Dan Proft is going to be there
He
as
may
well.
be there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He may.
You're going to let us hang in suspension?
They're still negotiating with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He commands a high
Oh,
dollar
that's right.
figure.
You charge.
That's right.
I can't even get my gas paid for, but that's all right. Oh.
So here's the deal. We're going to continue updating, of course, the information related to the 3 terrorist attacks over the weekend in New York, New Jersey, and Minnesota. We've discussed the manhunt that is underway for Ahmad Khan Rahami, 28-year-old Afghan national. His home in Elizabeth, or his residence in Elizabeth, New Jersey, raided.
Mm-hmm. And they believe this new surveillance video that came out overnight that he's the man in both locations and that they identified him through the surveillance video. They're looking for him. They found 5 of his relatives in a car. They're still being questioned at this time, and now there's an FBI hunt out for Rahami.
And so we'll update that. Of course, Mike Scott and his newscast will keep you updated as well. Kind of a related story about religious freedom in this country. This interesting piece over the weekend from Charles C. Haynes, who is the director of the Religious Freedom Center of the Newseum Institute. He references a U.S. Commission on Civil Rights report that appears to put our first freedom in dire straits. This report that was released earlier this month suggests that civil rights protections ensuring non-discrimination are of preeminent importance in the American jurisprudence, and Mr. Haynes suggests that what the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights is saying is that conflicts between religious freedom and non-discrimination principles are resolved by denying accommodation for religious conscience, except in very rare and narrow circumstances, thus dramatically changing this idea of religious freedom upon which the country was founded. And we've seen this, of course, play out in instances with bakers and wedding photographers and the like. For more on this and other topics, we're pleased to be joined again by Jim Towey. He's the president of Ave Maria University, and he's going to be in town this Wednesday night for an Aid for Women dinner. Aid for Women is a Catholic pregnancy center that will be at the Union League Club on Wednesday night, Aid for Women. Jim Towey, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Good to be back with you.
So your reaction to that U.S. Commission on Civil Rights report and the kind of what that portends for religious freedom in this country as the president of a religiously oriented university?
I've been very disappointed with the Obama administration and their misunderstanding of religious freedom. This is just further evidence of it. I think there's never been a presidency more hostile to religious freedom than this one. This commission report is nothing new. We've been seeing this in the Department of Education. We've been seeing it across the government and HHS with their contraceptive mandate. You know, people can disagree about, hotly disputed topics like contraception, but when you're forcing people to violate their own conscience to do something the government believes is necessary, when the government has other means to achieve it, it's wrong. And so, my reaction is no surprise here, disappointed as always, and this administration will go down as the worst on religious freedom in my lifetime.
So do you think by offering contraception, they're promoting promiscuity?
No, I think they can offer contraception, and people can agree or disagree on whether contraception is how, from a religious standpoint, where that stands up. But my point is, don't force people of religious conviction to be the foot soldiers in the armies of contraception. And so that's the Obama administration launched out on that when they had plenty of other ways that they could get this distributed. Their goal was to go after religious folks. I really believe that. I've watched them when they've had opportunities to make reasonable accommodations. They never have. In fact, the Supreme Court came out and said as such. So, I think this administration has enjoyed the culture war and the leverage they have with executive authority, and they're making the so-called value voters and the religious folks suffer from it.
You worked for the President George W. Bush Office of Faith-Based Initiatives, and I wonder how you would respond to the criticism. Well, George W. Bush went too far the other direction in terms of using government to promote religion, even from an ecumenical perspective. And now you just have a rebalancing of government's relationship to religion.
Well, it's an interesting accusation, but you never hear people give any evidence to support that charge. I ran the faith-based initiative for 4.5 years. The goal was to level the playing field so that faith-based groups wouldn't be discriminated against. And when he took office, they were. If they had a religious statement in their articles of incorporation, if the board was all of one faith, if they had a cross or a mezuzah up in the hall, they couldn't get federal funding. None of that required by the Constitution, by the way. And so the president leveled the playing field. There was no channeling of funds. The great majority of money, actually, of the federal social welfare dollar goes to organizations that are secular. Faith-based charities don't even get 5% of it. So there wasn't a reshifting. It was just a nice jingle that people made because he often spoke as a Christian man, but there's no evidence to support it. What we've seen with the Obama administration is a dismantling of protections that have stood under Republican and Democratic presidents for decades.
Well, and the interest, and just on that point too, I mean, one of the things that perhaps is most chilling, even more chilling than the kind of Orwellian non-discrimination misdirection play, is the outright targeting of people based on their religious beliefs by the IRS, where there's no even accusation of discrimination. It's just, send us copies of your prayers.
Right. No, it should frighten Americans that even if you're not a religious person, it should frighten Americans when they're starting to treat sacred scripture as hate speech. There's a legitimate role for government to play in regulating conduct, provided that it's not infringing on fundamental American liberties. And the freedom of religious belief and freedom of exercise of religion is foundational for our country. And I've just watched it be assaulted, and now you're seeing it play out more and more where people of conscience have nowhere to hide. I don't know if this is going to change in the next administration, but it's been bad under President Obama.
So hearing what you're saying about President Obama and his administration, Hillary Clinton would be a continuance of his administration. Are you backing Donald Trump?
Hey, Amy, no tough questions this morning.
Well, I mean, is he in line with what you believe
I think
morally?
The problem a lot of my friends have, Mike Gerson and others that have written on this subject far more eloquently, is it's hard to get behind Donald Trump because you don't know where he's coming from and where he stands on issues, including this one. I mean, here they are in a campaign that's been going on for some time, and you still really don't know where his religion. What's he going to do on religious liberty? So, I'm not sure where that would head.
Well, he said he is pro-life. I mean, before he was pro-choice, now he's pro-life. Does that give you any hope?
I'm hoping, I think a lot of us are going to be taking air sickness bags into the voting booth and see how we do.
I hear you.
I just decided to not think about it till November. I'll probably watch the debates. It'll unfortunately look like the Jerry Springer show, but what the heck?
Well, we hope no chairs are going to be thrown.
Yeah, except by
it's just hard.
Uranus.
It's hard to believe that this is the best our country can do, and these are our two choices, but I guess that's where we are, huh?
We're talking to Jim.
Why don't you two run? You'd be a good ticket.
It's a little late.
Yeah.
It's a little late. We got a ballot access issue. We're talking to Jim Towey. He's president of Ave Maria University. I want to get your perspective as the president of, again, a religiously affiliated university, where you see your institution of higher learning trending, because you had this gambit that was admittedly beat back, but this gambit to really almost permanently inhibit religiously affiliated universities in California from fulfilling their religious mission. And I wonder if you have some trepidation about that happening to Ave Maria and to other religiously affiliated institutions.
Well, the argument they made in California was, hey, you guys are claiming to be a religious institution, and there's no evidence of it. One of the things we're very proud of at Ave Maria University, and we actually get a lot of students from the Chicago area that come to our campus. We're proud that we're, authentically Catholic. We love the Pope. We follow the magisterium. Our students are about 85% Catholic. So we have a decent amount of diversity, but it's clearly identified as a Catholic university. We hire keeping in mind our mission as a Catholic institution, seeking followers of Jesus Christ. So, we have so much evidence to show that we are authentically a faith-based institution, that the challenge that you see in California would not hit us. However, when you see the government starting to pick and choose and sift through organizations and, oh, you're not really religious and we're going to decide that, that's what scared the Supreme Court in their decision. They don't want to get in the middle of that, and I don't know why the government is, other than I think, again, it's just going after the moral values that some of these institutions hold.
Speaking on that topic, you were honored to participate in Mother Teresa, now Saint Teresa of Calcutta's canonization mass a couple of weeks back. I think you offered a reading at the mass, and I wonder if you could share with our listeners what that was like.
Wow, well, that's something I'll never forget. When I stood there at the lectern and looked out, and there are 250,000 people. That's a big crowd there, right? And it was a privilege. The sisters in Calcutta had conferred on me, and I think in honor of Ave Maria University. And so, yeah, I had the privilege to work for Mother for 12 years, and she, taught me a lot, and obviously changed the direction of my life. So I have a real debt to them. But the day was glorious and hot and muggy. So a little bit of Calcutta there in the square, and but people from all over the world. I mean, you just saw flags from everywhere coming to honor this humble, simple woman. I think she has a lot to say to America right now as we are making decisions, because she was so humble and she cared about others and the truth. And those are lessons we could be learning right now as we get ready to vote.
And Jim Towey will have a lot more to say when he's in town on Wednesday for the 8 for Women annual benefit dinner that's at the Union League Club of Chicago. He will be the keynote speaker. Jim Towey, president of Ave Maria University. Jim, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Great to be with you, Amy and Dan. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.